What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? In this video we're going to be discussing Yoru's viability in competitive play and whether or not he really is as bad as people say. I'll be looking at the agent from a competitive standpoint and whether or not he's really worth picking. Are you worried about Yoru as a duelist? Honestly, in this video we're going to be sharing my personal thoughts on the agent and whether or not he really is as bad as everyone says. I'll be looking at, competitive standpoint as well as his pick rate. Let's go ahead and get into it, and if you do like this sort of video, make sure to like and subscribe. Unlike most agents in this series so far, I don't think Yoru needs a complete rework. I think some of his abilities do need a few small changes to make him rival even top duelists like Reina or even Jet. So let's go get into it. The first big issue with Yoru is he's way too slow. Let me explain. So the first thing, his flashes, they're comically slow. They have to bounce off a wall and then go off. It's so easy to dodge. They take the longest to wind up depending on how you throw them. And I don't really think it's very good that you can see a flash before it even goes off. Not very good for entry at all. The second item on this list is Yoru's TP. It's way too slow, dude. Like, if you consider Jet or even Chamber's flash, he's supposed to be the trickster of the whole group, and he has the slowest TP out of everyone. Yeah, so unless you're completely brain dead, Yoru's TP is not going to fool you at all. You can also be shot while you're mid TP. And that's the second thing. That second thing leads into the third thing, which is Yoru's ult. You can now be shot while casting it. I think that nerf wasn't necessary. I think Yoru's already struggling as is. May have been a kind of how they intended on it working, and maybe they were just changing it to work how they intended initially. But I think the trick of peeking the corner with Yoru's ult and then popping it before you get shot, I think that was pretty useful. I think people needed that to get the game going, changes up the monotony of things, and I don't see why that nerf needed to be put in there. I see it as a nerf. I don't know. It kind of changes his playability. It doesn't make him, kind of makes him less of a factor. I think it's one of his biggest factors contributing to his downfall in the meta. His pick rate is abysmal at this point. Alright, and I'm not one to just, rag on the agent and then not offer maybe my personal criticisms on what can be done to make him better. I feel like the biggest thing is his TP needs to be changed to make him on par with Jet and Chamber. Their instant TPs, kind of, Jet's dash away and Chamber's TP away. You can still catch Chamber. You can't really catch Jet. I've never really caught a Jet maybe once or twice on a TP. But you can kind of catch Chamber sometimes. But Yoru, you're going to catch him. If you see him, you're not in a gunfight and then TPing away. Granted, that may, be how they want it, but that's not really on par to what we're used to with a TP. When we compare it to other abilities and think about smokes, for instance, Brim smokes, Omen smokes, the code from our new agent Arbor, they all kind of work the same way. Only thing that's kind of different is maybe, Cypher's cages, which you can consider a smoke, but they all have the same sort of concept, cast, and then it's on site for X amount of time. With this TP is completely useless in comparison to other TPs in the game. I think that timing needs to be changed, and that'll make him a much more viable agent in the meta. It needs to be pretty much instant. You already went through all the work of having to send it off, and then you have to wait for it to get to where you want to. That was kind of the problem with Jet. You had to, you had to instant. You didn't even have to think about where you wanted. With Chamber, you set him up where you want to TP to, where you want to TP from. There's a thought that you have to do. There is thought process in between setting a Yoru cast for TP and then actually TPing, and then the potential that somebody could have seen your TP and be on your TP when you get there. I don't understand why it can't be instant. His flash bomb, this is a concept I've kind of come up with as a flash bomb. Basically, you throw your flash, if they want to keep it bouncing off the wall, you throw your flash and then maybe it becomes a small smoke that you can pass through quickly, something similar to a Astra fake smoke. That's a possibility. That would help with entry way more than his flash bouncing off a wall. I don't see many people getting hit by that flash, and it's very confusing as a Yoru main if you choose the Yoru main. You can't really tell if the people on site are flash. With the Phoenix flash, it's kind of the same way with the Reina. Anybody in your immediate vicinity, they're flashed. They can't see you unless they're right up on you. That's just a concept to help with entry, because Yoru can't entry, in my opinion. His entry utility is very weak on many maps. And the final thing is, again, going back to the ult. I think the ult's pretty useful. I think, and this is a kind of a wonky concept, but if you guys are familiar with Apex Legends, I think if Yoru had an ult similar to Mirage's ult, where you send out multiple different Yorus, and you know, kind of until you shoot, it's not, you know, not viable. So basically, until you shoot as Yoru, you can't really be hurt, but the enemies can shoot you if you are the real Yoru, and if they shoot the wrong ones, you know, maybe there's no effect, they just kind of disappear or something to that effect. I think something ability like that would really help Yoru's viability in the meta. That would be, I guess, completely a rework of his ult, but I feel like right now where you can't TP in front of people without getting clapped, I think that kind of takes away the fun of Yoru. But yeah guys, I mean, if you have any ideas on a rework or any ideas on what could be done to make Yoru better, or if you think Yoru's fine as he is, let me know down in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this sort of video, definitely make sure you like and subscribe. Have a great day. Stay toasty, broskies. Peace.